In today's video, I'll be revealing why $1.2 million is all you need for retirement if you understand the lifestyle first spending strategy that many retirees just never learn. Through working with clients who have achieved comfortable retirements through both modest and substantial savings, I've discovered that retirement success isn't determined by how much you saved, it's determined by how strategically you spend what you already have. And that's exactly why I'm making this video today, to show you the lifestyle first approach that makes $1.2 million fully capable of funding the retirement you actually want, rather than the restrictive lifestyle that many retirees simply assume. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ben. I've been a financial advisor for almost 20 years, and I want to help make your retirement even better. So once a pre-retiree gets close to a milestone number, something pretty interesting happens. They become hyper-fixated on that next milestone number. Right? If you hit $1 million, well, we can't stop focusing on $1.5 million. If we hit that, we can't stop focusing on $2 million, right? That milestone mentality oftentimes delays retirement longer than would be necessary. And the funny thing is, the difference in retirement income between a $1.9 million portfolio versus an exactly $2 million portfolio, that's pretty much imperceptible. Yet if we're really close to that milestone number, or even worse, we were above that number and recently dropped below it, well, that becomes our sole focus, right? Our sole fixation. But what most people don't realize is that once you retire, your portfolio doesn't just stop growing, right? Unless markets are completely terrible, it often continues to compound even while we are taking income on a monthly basis for our retirement plan. That's because a well-designed retirement portfolio has both growth and income components working together at the same time. This is a concept that I call the retirement runway. So think of it like a runway that you're building as you're going to land a plane. Now, depending on your tolerance for risk or your desire for security, it's going to determine how much runway that you are going to need to build to feel comfortable to land your plane. Another version of the same metaphor is railroad tracks. How much railroad track do you want to lay out in front of yourself to feel comfortable? Your conservative assets, that would be everything not stocks, so your cash and your bonds, they fund your spending for the first few years or the first several years of retirement, while your stocks remain invested behind the scenes and they're growing for years to come. Now, a lot of retirees think of a concept like retirement runway purely as a defense against a market crash, right? Keeping years of income outside of the stock market and something more stable. But in reality, because the market is positive most of the time, let's say anywhere from 2/3 to 3/4 of the time, the runway can also act as offense, right? It gives our growth assets time to keep compounding while you live your life and enjoy your retirement. So I'm going to jump into my computer very fast. I'm going to show you a brief example, and you can download this for yourself if you think this would be kind of a helpful visual aid. Okay, what we've got here is our rebalancing tool, as well as our retirement runway tool. You can kind of ignore these two columns over here unless you're going to use it for a rebalancing tool. We'll probably talk about that for a different day. But wherever we can, we want to illustrate these concepts for people that might be visual learners or people that, like myself, are just spreadsheet nerds and they want to look at these ideas on their own. So what I wanted to look at with the rebalancing tool or the retirement runway tool today is how much of my portfolio is still in offense. If I'm hyper-fixated on that next milestone number, but I still want to retire, I need to assess how much I can still keep in the stock market to see if I'm comfortable retiring because I still want to hit some of these milestone numbers. So today we're talking about $1.2 million. We've got our target allocation over here. This is a number that you would choose for yourself or your financial advisor would choose for you. Please don't take this as any kind of a recommendation for securities. This is a common portfolio. Vanguard publishes similar portfolios all the time, and then we can change these to, labeling these either stocks or bonds. And so what we have here is if we look at our stock to bonds, all of our bonds creates our retirement runway, which gives us our allocation, and then that totals it up here. You can see our sum if here. So we've got $240,000 worth of portfolio fixed income. We're planning for a $5,000 monthly draw, which is 48 months or 4 years of retirement runway. Now, depending on your risk style, that could be a runway that makes you feel very aggressive or very conservative, just depending on your style. If we said we wanted $6,000 of monthly income, you can see that that's going to change our runway. So let's just say you wanted $6,000 a month and you have 3 years of income set aside that's not in the stock market, $240,000. Well, our portfolio is $1.2 million. Well, we've got $900,000 plus of money of investments still in the stock market. So if you're shooting for some of those milestones, 1.2, 1.5, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should keep working. You could retire, and depending on your risk style, you could keep accumulating. So don't let the fact that you're not on a nice round number or a nice milestone number make you work for longer than you need to, because I just wanted to show you this tool to say, in many cases, people still keep accumulating assets beyond these milestone numbers. And this is a free tool for you to download if you would like to do so. Of course, with a disclaimer that this is not meant to say you should buy XYZ security or anything like that. It's just a thinking tool. The problem isn't that people don't have enough, as you can see from our spreadsheet. It's that they're focused on accumulation instead of strategy. Really, you could do both, but we have to focus also on strategy. That obsession creates false scarcity and really unnecessary anxiety. As you can see from our retirement runway, we've got a lot of assets not in the stock market. So savings obsession creates false scarcity, but the lifestyle first framework shows how to design retirement around your actual needs. Many people start with a number. Do I have enough to hit this income number? But the better question is, enough of what? Lifestyle first planning flips that normal retirement planning process. Instead of letting a calculator dictate your future, start by picturing your ideal retirement. Do you want to travel? Do you want to volunteer? Maybe you want to work part-time or teach a class that brings in a little extra money. Right? When you lead with your retirement priorities, you paint a completely different picture versus when we just let the math do the talking. And I'll show you an example here. So let's say your lifestyle costs $7,000 a month. Social Security covers $3,500, leaving $3,500 to come from your portfolio. Now, with $1.2 million invested, even a pretty conservative 4% or even a 5% withdrawal rate covers that gap pretty easily. One couple that I worked with designed their retirement around 3 months of travel and part-time income from consulting from her old employer. Their total spending plan looked pretty modest on paper, but it gave them exactly the freedom that they wanted, and their portfolio could continue to grow if the market cooperated. That's the power of lifestyle first planning. When you design your life first and let the portfolio support it, well, $1.2 million feels really abundant instead of restrictive if we would have just started with the math first. So lifestyle first planning creates clarity, but it's the fixed essential strategy that really shows how to optimize your spending foundation. So once your lifestyle vision is clear, then the next step is building that reliable foundation. And that starts with fixed essentials, right? How much does it cost to live? Housing, healthcare, insurance, groceries, utilities. No matter what the market is doing or no matter what our portfolio is doing, those bills really never just go away. Now, the goal here would be to match those fixed costs with predictable cash flow, either from your retirement portfolio or from our guaranteed income benefits, right? Government benefits. So imagine your essential expenses totaling $48,000 a year. Now, if you could engineer guaranteed income sources to cover those essentials, that essential spending, imagine how much more flexibility that you would then feel when thinking about spending from your retirement investments. Could we use our retirement investments to maximize our Social Security, or at least grow our Social Security until it covers our fixed or non-discretionary expenses? And here's what's powerful about this. A retiree with $3,000 a month in fixed expenses and also $3,000 a month of guaranteed income sources and $1.2 million in savings, they're going to feel a lot more flexibility versus somebody with, let's say, $8,000 a month in fixed expenses, $2,000 of guaranteed income, and $2 million in savings, right? You can see how we have a lot of certainty in the first example and somewhat less certainty in the second example. So wherever possible, we want to match assets and liabilities, so to speak, because that's going to increase our confidence and increase the flexibility to spend in retirement. And that's going to make any volatility we might experience from the stock market feel a lot more like a minor inconvenience than some sort of full-blown crisis. So now that you understand the fixed essentials optimization, if you're wondering how to implement this lifestyle first approach for your specific situation, go ahead and click the link below and book a call with me. I'll show you how to design retirement around your actual needs rather than some kind of arbitrary milestones or savings targets. But the biggest threat to your retirement success isn't necessarily the stock market. It can often be overspending. So in my experience, it is somewhat rare, but when it pops up, it can be absolutely devastating to a plan. So it can start pretty innocently, right? A few upgrades here and there, maybe a nicer car than you would normally drive, a nicer house or home remodel, extra vacation or two. But before we know it, suddenly our withdrawals are thousands of dollars a year higher than they were compared to the actual retirement plan we had in place when we decided to pull the plug from our career. So that's where retirement income guardrails can be really helpful. Guardrails give you permission to spend more when markets are cooperative, and that's most of the time, but it also gives us an early warning signal when spending starts to run a little bit hot. Let's look at a quick example. Let's say your base withdrawal is $65,000 a year. Now, in a strong market, the guardrails might temporarily allow you to spend $70,000 per year. Inevitably, when markets fall and we hit that bottom guardrail, we simply scale back our spending to about $58,500 per year, or a 10% reduction from our base. So what we're dealing with here is a rules-based system that turns emotional decisions into data-driven adjustments. And this works both ways, right? It protects our portfolio during market downturns, and it can help us to rein in our spending when the market just doesn't justify any overspending that year. And when you approach that lower guardrail, it's just a reality check, right? It's not a punishment. It simply means it's time to pause, time to adjust, and it's time to protect our future flexibility. Now, discretionary control will preserve our wealth. The income matching strategy shows how to align spending with predictable income sources. Now, when you're thinking about your retirement income, it's pretty tempting to view everything separately in its own silo. Right? We've got Social Security, totally separate from our portfolio, separate from our pension, separate from home equity, right? Everything is functioning separately. Really, the truth is none of those decisions really should be made independently, right? The income matching strategy brings them all together so that the entire process sort of breathes as one system. So here's how it connects with guardrails. Early on in retirement, you might be living entirely off of your portfolio, keeping Social Security and all those other things deferred and sort of in your back pocket or an ace up your sleeve, so to speak. Now, as long as markets are pretty strong, we defer those benefits and we let them grow, right? Earning higher lifetime income, stronger survivor protection, right? Better inflation adjustments, all the reasons why we might want to think about deferring Social Security. But inevitably, when the market stumbles and your portfolio drops below that preset threshold, let's say 20% down from where you started, well, that's where the guardrails tell you, hey, we're going to trim our spending by about 10%. So if we were drawing $10,000 a month, now it's going to be $9,000. But if you'd rather not tighten your belt right away, well, then we've got that ace up our sleeve, right? We've got Social Security. So turning on one spouse's smaller benefit can instantly replace that lost income while still deferring that larger benefit from Social Security. Also keeping in mind the lesson from earlier in this video, that we have a potential income target of our fixed expenses that we would like to match with our Social Security if possible. And really what that is, that's integration at work, right? We're not looking at siloed decisions, but a coordinated system that flexes with just our real life. So when your portfolio, your Social Security, your spending rules, when all those things are aligned, we can weather a lot more volatility with confidence instead of fear. So now that you understand the income matching strategy, let's look at how to implement the complete lifestyle first spending framework. Implementation begins with just a simple mindset shift. Like I mentioned, most retirees start by opening up a calculator, typing in $1.2 million and letting the calculator tell them how they're allowed to spend. But that's really, I think, backwards. I think we want to start by saying, what do I actually want to do? Travel, not for me, but maybe for you, golf, family time, volunteer work, whatever that is, and then let the portfolio support the plan. Plan first, then do the math. And what we've seen over and over again, and we've got research to back this up, is that retirees tend to underspend dramatically. Studies show that the average retiree draws less than 3% of their portfolio every year. I think that was a recent Wall Street Journal article. It said that it might be even closer to 2%. And they're not running out of money. They're lacking in confidence, really, and they're lacking likely a comprehensive retirement plan. Too many retirees, in my view their retirement savings as a supersized emergency fund rather than what it actually is, and that's an income-producing engine. So instead of asking, how much can I withdraw, ask, how do I design a life that I'm excited to fund? And that's really what a complete framework delivers, right? We want to design our lifestyle first. We want to optimize our fixed essentials. We want to control discretionary spending with our guardrails. And we want to match our income sources wherever we can with flexibility and security. Ideally, we want to grow our guaranteed income sources until they can match our non-discretionary spending, our fixed essentials. So when you follow those simple steps, a $1.2 million portfolio stops becoming like an arbitrary target, and it becomes a tool to create the life that we actually want and the life we actually saved up all this money for in the first place. So now that you understand why $1.2 million is enough to retire if you implement the lifestyle first spending strategy and you design a retirement around your actual needs rather than kind of arbitrary numbers, now we can move forward with confidence. If you want some help implementing a lifestyle first framework to maximize your retirement savings, go ahead and click the link in the description. Book some time with me. I'll show you exactly how to design your retirement around strategic spending. So again, my name is Ben. I hope this video helped to make your retirement even better, and I'll see you in the next one.